This is question 84 from book number 1 based on the 2020 NEC, and this is electricaltime.com. For the purpose of the disconnecting means for a non-motor generated induction or for dielectric heating equipment, what is the minimum percentage for the disconnecting means based on the nameplate rating of the heating equipment? And we get a couple of choices here. We have A, 50%, B, 100%, C, 115%, or D, 125%. Just want to take 30 seconds to let you know what we do here at electricaltime.com. We do online electrical classes from the comfort of your home. And then we also have this free service. So if you click on the subscribe for free NEC questions, Monday through Friday, you'll get an NEC code question and an answer sent to your email. All right, so back to our video. And believe it or not, the answer is B, and that is 100%. So the first question we're going to ask ourselves, what article are we talking about here? And there's an article that is called Induction and Dielectric Heating Equipment. And that is Article 665. So let's go there in our textbook and let's see what we have to say about this. So we find Article 665, Induction and Dielectric Heating Equipment. That's within Chapter 6, Special Equipment. We look at the parts in Article 665 for induction and dielectric heating equipment, and we find Part 1, General, and then we find 665.12, Disconnecting Means. For this question, let's take a look at the chapters, which you can find from the contents page in the front of your NEC codebook, and see which one makes the most sense. All right, so in case you don't happen to know what article something is, another way that I like to do this is look at the chapters and to see what chapter makes the most sense of where this answer could be. So we've got Chapter 1, General, Chapter 2, Wiring and Protection, Chapter 3, Wiring Methods and Materials, Chapter 4, Equipment for General Use, Chapter 5, Special Occupancies, Chapter 6, Special Equipment, Chapter 7, Special Conditions, Chapter 8, Communication Systems, or Chapter 9, that's going to be Tables. So the one that looks like it makes the most sense to me is going to be Chapter 6, and that's going to be Special Equipment. So Chapter 6, Special Equipment, feels like that's the one that makes sense. And we quickly scan the contents page and we see Article 665, which is called Induction and Dielectric Heating Equipment. And that's the article we are looking for. Looking at Article 665, we see 665.12, and that's called Disconnecting Means. And that's where we find the answer to our question to be only 100% as the minimum. So I'm going to go in my code book and I'm just going to look at this to make sure that I didn't make a mistake on this. And again, we are looking at 665.12. And in the second paragraph, and again, we're looking at disconnecting means, and it says, the rating of the disconnecting means shall not be less than the nameplate rating of the heating equipment. Then it goes on to talk about motor generator equipment, that we need to comply with Article 430, Part 9. It also goes on to say that, the supply circuit disconnecting means shall be permitted to serve as the heating equipment disconnecting means where only one heating equipment is supplied. All right. So again, when I think of a disconnecting means, I for some reason, I'm automatically thinking of 125%, just so that I know that that disconnecting means, is heavy duty enough that, if something should happen, that disconnecting means is going to be okay. As far as the amount of amps that, it can handle internally. And again, I'm not talking about the circuit breaker. I'm not talking about a fuse. I'm just talking about, the internal guts of that disconnecting means. All right, so let's continue in our textbook. So hint, even though you might automatically be thinking 125% is the answer, and that's what I thought initially until I read it in 665.12. The code gives us the minimum standards. Again, these are the minimum standards from the NEC that we have to comply with, and those are the questions that we are being asked on an exam. Again, it's not our feeling, it's not what we think it is what it is, and it is what it says, in our code book. And again, the answer to this is going to be B, and that's going to be 100%. And again, it's going to be, whatever's on that nameplate rating, and this is going to be code reference 665.12.